friends, welcome back to my channel. So today, it's the last day of June. It's the last day of June, which means it's going to be July. And then it's gonna be 2022 before we know it, but you know, time flies, right? That means we are going over all of my past June purchases. We're continuing on my little series I've got going on my channel this whole year, where I go back and I look at what purchases I've made from Ulta and Sephora and then other places as well, like Target, Amazon, brand websites, all of the above. Before we get started, don't forget I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday for you guys, and lately a lot more than that. If you like this video while you're watching it, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. It really does help me and my channel out. And other than that, if you're excited and you want to hear all my past June purchases, then let's go ahead and get started. So as per usual, I went ahead and scooted over so I can pop up some pictures here of items I do not have anymore. Let's start with Sephora this time around. I feel like I have been starting with Ulta the last couple of months. So from Sephora all the way back in 2017, I picked up the Smashbox A Photo Finish Primer. This was in the full size. I actually really do enjoy this primer a lot. I think it is a very nice smoothing primer. It's one that you can use all over your face, and I really do feel like it gives like a really filtered effect. I have been through like 3 full size and 2 minis of this primer. I do genuinely enjoy it, and I actually have one back there in my collection right now, so I need to pull it out and use it. Actually, I haven't used it in a while. And then I also picked up the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I had the shade Chantilly, I believe is how you pronounce that. So I remember just not loving this concealer. I remember it not having enough coverage for me, but I'm not gonna lie, I do really want to give it a go again soon. I think I might pick up a mini just because so many people love this concealer and I want to know why I didn't love it. I used up the whole thing, I remember that, but I just remember not loving it. I didn't have any purchases in 2018 in June from Sephora, and from 2019, I went ahead and picked up a Sol de Janeiro Boom Boom Cream. I love this lotion. I think it smells absolutely divine. It just smells yummy, like a warm hug. But I will say, it's not the most insanely moisturizing lotion. I can't use it too much in the winter time. Because of that, my skin still gets dry and itchy. And actually, Tree Hut has a really awesome dupe for this lotion that I think is way more moisturizing and smells pretty much just the same. I will go ahead and link it down below for you. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's like Tropic Glow or something like that. I don't know. I will link it down below for you because I really do think it's a nice dupe, and it's only $8.99. And the Boom Boom Cream is like $40-something. Also in 2019, I went ahead and picked up a Verb Ghost shampoo and conditioner. I've been rocking with this shampoo and conditioner for a very long time. It is my favorite. I will always repurchase it. It just makes my hair so soft and manageable and shiny. Chef's kiss, it's the best. Also in 2019, I went ahead and picked up my Natasha Denona Mini Nude palette. I think it's a great, lovely, just neutral tone palette that's perfect for every day. These 2 mattes are just really super blendable. These 2 shimmers are stunning. This is a great palette, and for $25, if these are your types of tones, I think that you would love it if you also picked it up, because Natasha Denona's quality is just amazing. I also picked up the Fenty Beauty. This is her Instant Warp bronzer. This is her powder bronzer, and I have the shade Into Sun. I really love this bronzer. As you can tell, I have pan in it. It is a beautiful shade, especially for fair skin tones. It is one that you have to build up a little bit. It's not going to be insanely pigmented right off the bat. You just build it up very nicely, and then it gives the most beautiful flush to your skin without being too warm, too orange, too like cooly contour shade. This is a stunning bronzer. And the last thing I bought in 2019 from Sephora was a Drunk Elephant Slay Makeup Melting Balm. I've talked about this in the past. I don't really support Drunk Elephant on my channel or my Instagram page, but this is a nice melting balm. Do I think you need to buy this one from Drunk Elephant? No, I think there's plenty of other nice melting balms that you can use instead. Then from 2020, I got a lot of stuff from 2020. June is my birthday month, so I tend to like go a little crazy, buy myself some stuff. So the first thing I bought was the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand. This is her Easy Highlighter in the shade Spotlight. You've heard me talk about this a million times on my channel. It is such a good highlight. It's stunning. It's beautiful. It's wet looking on the skin. These are sold out everywhere, and I really, why are they still sold out? I feel like they should be back by now. Either someplace, Sephora, Charlotte Tilbury's website, I don't know, but these need to be restocked because they are stunning. They're pricey, but they are worth it. I also went ahead and picked up the Marc Jacobs. This is their Enamored Gloss Stick, and this is in the shade Sugar Sugar. I don't think these are available anymore. I don't know why they're not available anymore. I know a lot of their stuff recently went on sale from Sephora. There's like rumors that their beauty line is shutting down, but some people say it is, some people say it's not. I don't really know what's going on with Marc Jacobs, but this was unavailable like before all of that has happened recently. It's an interesting concept because you just like twist it up here, and then like the little balmy stuff comes out. I'll actually go ahead and add some on top of my lip that I already have for you, just so you can see. It would go with it. It's just a really beautiful, like glossy topper. It's a really beautiful nude shade, so it goes with a lot of looks. I don't know why these aren't available anymore. It makes me really sad because this is absolutely stunning. I also picked up the Huda Beauty Matte Metal Melted Shadow. So I went ahead and got the shades Penthouse Suite and Cashmere Robe. There is a matte side and then like a more glittery, shiny side to it. I don't love these. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this gets, the matte side gets very hard for me to blend. It doesn't matter if I put a tiny dot on my eye or a lot or a little, it really doesn't matter. It just is hard for me to blend into my eyes and make it look not patchy. And then the shimmer side is pretty, but it just kind of gets like everywhere when I use it. And I don't know, I don't love these. I need to give them a go again, but the couple of times I have tried this in the past, I haven't loved it. So not a huge fan of these, but I know a lot of people are, so take that with a grain of salt. And then another thing I ended up purchasing was the Patrick Ta Monochromatic Moment Silky Lip Creme. So the first shade that I picked up was She's Unapologetic, and it looked like concealer lips on me. It's the lightest shade available. Literally, I feel like it looked exactly like concealer lips on me. It was just way too light. So I ended up exchanging it for the shade She's Secure, and this is a way better shade for my skin. It's just a beautiful, oh, I like wiped that metal and it didn't come all the way off. It's just like a beautiful, like peachy tone that looks really pretty, and it has like a minty chocolate chip scent to it. So if you're sensitive to scents, like I would stay clear of these, but it is a really pretty formula and shade, and I'm glad I have this in my collection. And then the last thing I picked up in 2020 from Sephora was this Fenty Beauty. This is their like slip shine sheer lipstick, and I have the shade Makeup Break. I really don't use this as much as I was anticipating that I would. It's a really nice pretty lipstick, and it is very sheer like it says, and it's pretty on the lips. I just never like think to use this. I don't know why. I definitely need to reach for this more often. And then in 2021 I have made a couple Sephora purchases. I'm gonna go ahead and have linked down below my birthday haul that I put up a couple days ago, because that has purchases from Sephora and Ulta, and then like other purchases that I made for that birthday haul. And I'm not going to repeat those products because these videos are already long enough as it is. So I did make some purchases from Sephora, from Ulta, and then one from Pat McGrath. So definitely make sure you check out that birthday haul if you missed it, so you can get like the full picture of everything I bought in 2021. But again, I'm not going to talk about those products. But I did make another Sephora purchase literally this morning. I bought something, so it's not here for me to show you. But I ended up picking up the Glow Recipe Avocado Ceramide Redness Relief Serum. So I have a lot of redness in my skin. This is no secret. You guys probably see it on my Get Ready With Me's when I don't have any makeup on. And just, especially in my cheeks and my chin, they just hold a lot of redness. The redness is something that, I don't know, I'm just kind of insecure about. It's really the main reason that I wear like full coverage foundations. So I just picked this up to try it out. It was kind of pricey, but I figured, you know, if it'll help with my redness, that's fine, I'll pay for it. So I will give that a go when it comes in, and I'll let you guys know what I think. But that was everything that I got from Sephora, so let's move on to Ulta now. I can't see as far back for Ulta as I could for Sephora, but I can still see all the way back to 2018. So in 2018, I went ahead and picked up the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation. I really did not like this foundation at all. It was just very thick on me and drying, and it didn't look good on my skin. I was like trying to force myself to love it because I know a lot of other people did at that time, and I ended up using, I think, half the bottle before I decluttered it. It also was not a good shade for me. I can't remember off the top of my head what shade I had, but I remember it being too dark. I know they just recently reformulated that, but I like dislike the original one so much. I'm probably not going to pick that one up and try it out. I also picked up a Smashbox Photo Finish Primer again, but this one was in the travel size. Again, just like I just said about the one from Sephora, I like that primer a lot. Then I got some Flower Beauty items from Ulta. I went ahead and picked up their Light Illusion Concealer. I remember this was too dark for me. This was, I think, before they expanded their shade range and made lighter ones, and I'm assuming darker ones, I don't really know. It was just too dark for me, so I don't really have too much of an opinion on that because I didn't get a chance to use it too often before I decluttered it. I also picked up the Lash Warrior Mascara. I think I remember liking this mascara, but I think it got like kind of clumpy on me, and I think I remember it being a really wet formula, so not entirely sure. Probably should try that mascara again now. I also picked up a Flower Pot Blush in the shade Warm Hibiscus. This was a dupe for NARS Orgasm. It is. It's a full-on dupe. They're exactly the same. It's like a nice pinky tone with that gold shimmer to it. I really didn't use this that much. However, I was not into like glowy products back then. My skin was very oily, and all I wanted was like mattifying skin, mattifying products. I was not into that. So I ended up decluttering this. I think maybe if I tried it now, I would like it more, but it's gone. So, and I tried their Light Illusion foundation in the shade Ivory. I feel like I remember this being too dark for me as well. So again, I didn't have too much of a opinion on it at the time. However, keep that in mind for a little bit later on in the video. And then I picked up the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso. This was like such a poppin' blush back then. Everyone had Milani Luminoso. And I remember I used it all the time like 4 years ago, but I don't really remember my thoughts on it. I think I liked it. It was a nice pretty pink shade. Again, it was a little more on the glowy side and I wasn't into that back then. So I don't know. And this is another one that I ended up decluttering. And then in another order, I picked up the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Stick Foundation in the shade F3. I did not like this stick foundation at all. I'm not a stick foundation girl. I tried this one, I tried the Wet n Wild one, and I tried the Huda one. Of the three, I like the Huda one the best, but I don't know. There's something about stick foundations that are so thick on my skin and very drying. And I remember this one being that thick and drying. And I think I ended up using up like half of it before I decluttered it. And then I also got their Conceal and Define Concealer in the shade C1. I went through 2 of these and it just didn't have enough coverage for me. I remember I went through the first one and then I re-picked it up and I don't know why, but I used them just for work because I cared way less about my makeup for work than like YouTube or dates or going out or anything else like that. So that's what I used it for. I would not repurchase it. It didn't have enough coverage for me. Moving on to 2019, I picked up the Tarte Busy Gal Brow. I have the shade medium brown for this. So I used to really love this brow gel. It's got a really tiny spoolie that could just really get into your brows. But I like never reach for this anymore. I think that the shade is a little off for me. It makes my brows look a little too light and a little too warm. I'll eventually finish this up, but it's definitely not a favorite anymore, but it was for a while there. I use this non-stop for a hot second. And then also I picked up the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie Foundation. I picked up both of them. I had originally picked up this shade, which is LP4. I knew it was my darker summer shade, but I loved it so much that I picked up another one and I picked up LN2. So now I have my darker summer shade and then my wintry lighter shade, so I can use this all year round or mix them if I need to like make them a little bit more customizable. I love this foundation. It is beautiful. It's matte, so be careful if you're a little bit on the drier side. I just go in with like a hydrating primer under it, but this is the most full coverage foundation and it looks flawless on my skin. I also went ahead and picked up a Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This is a great mist. I love it. I've been through probably like 4 or 5 bottles at this point. It's beautiful at melting your makeup together. It's not going to make it last longer or anything like that, and it's pretty dewy, so if you were oily, I'd be a little apprehensive. I used to mix this with my Urban Decay De-Slick and that worked out really well, but now that I am not as oily, I just use it on its own. It's a beautiful setting spray. It's been around forever and a lot of people talk about it for like good reason. Another thing I picked up was the Tarte Shape Tape Setting Spray. So I went through this whole setting spray, I used it up, and like for most of the bottle, I didn't think I really liked it, but I think the main reason I didn't like it was the scent. It just had a really strong cucumber scent, and I just don't like cucumber scented things. I just never really have. However, this makes your makeup stay on beautifully. I ended up finishing it up late 2020 when we were wearing masks, and I was wearing a mask every day to work, and I would just put it on, spray it on, and that setting spray really does make your makeup lock in place and stay. Like for the most part, it stayed fine under my mask, which that's saying something, right? So I'm like so conflicted. I would love to have that setting spray again for the long lasting power of it, but like, why does it have to have a cucumber scent? Why? I don't understand. I also went ahead and picked up an Ardell Duo Lash Glue. I was really trying to get into fake lashes back in 2019. I thought that that's what I had to do. I had to wear them to like make a look complete, and that was very short-lived because they're kind of a pain to apply, so I like never use this lash glue. And then last thing in 2019 I picked up was the Morphe Highlight and Contour Sponge. I had been through like 3 of these at that point. I think this was the last one I ended up purchasing. I like that sponge, but I feel like they changed it. I feel like my first 2 were really soft and lovely, and then the last one I purchased ended up being too hard and it never softened with use. So I never repurchased it, but I liked it at the time. Then for 2020, I ended up picking up the Makeup Revolution Good Vibes High Brow Gel. I have the shade medium brown in this. I really don't like this brow gel, unfortunately. I feel like the spoolie picks up a lot of product. It is nice and small, but it picks up a lot of product, and even when I brush it off and then put it through my brows, this just gets everywhere. It's just still too much product. It's not a great shade match for me, and I eventually will probably use this up, but I will not repurchase it. Another thing I picked up was the Dose of Colors lip gloss in the shade Honey I'm Home. I like using Dose of Colors lip glosses for a topper. So I got this like really pretty orangey shade as a topper. I really don't use it as much as I probably should. I feel like whenever I look at it in the tube, it literally looks like a concealer to me. So I'm like, oh, will that look good over my lips? And I just don't reach for this as often as I should, but I do love the Dose of Colors lip gloss formula. It's amazing. So if you can get like a shade you do enjoy, it's a really awesome lip gloss formula. And then I also picked up 2 Colourpop palettes. She's Got Solstice and All Things Equinox. They are just not as good quality as I'm used to from Colourpop. I think the color stories are very beautiful and I like the looks that I get when I use them, but I just feel like they were both a little bit of a disappointment. I don't reach for either one of them too much. I talk about both these in my Colourpop ranking palettes video that I did in collaboration with my friend Ava Tooze. I will have that link down below in case you want to hear just a little bit more information about both of these. And then also in 2021, what did I pick up? I also picked up the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Face Powder. I got the shade Light. This just wasn't enough of a powder for me. I ended up returning this to Ulta. I really don't like returning makeup, but I did. It just wasn't anything like special. I was hoping that it would make my face just look like flawless and beautiful, and it didn't do much. And then also in that same order, I picked up their Mineralized Skin Finish Highlight, and this is in the shade Soft and Gentle. I love this highlight. It is beautiful. I ended up picking this up because the girl who did my makeup for me for my wedding used it on me, and I asked her like, what is making my face look so glowy and beautiful? And she told me it was this. This is a really glittery type of formula, but if you tap off your brush and then really buff it into the skin, it leaves the most beautiful shine and glow on your skin. I also picked up the Juvia's Place I Am Magic foundation and concealer. In the foundation, I ended up picking up the shade 730 Isla, and then in the concealer, I picked up 23. This foundation and concealer was awful on me. It was terrible. Again, I ended up returning it to Ulta. Again, I don't like doing that, but my face looked like the Sahara Desert with this, and I am so sad because I know so many of my friends who have dry skin love this foundation. So I was hoping, like, yes, I understand it's more matte, it's way full coverage, which sounded right on my alley. Like, full coverage matte, like, great, that sounds great, sign me up. It was terrible. Like, it was so cakey and so drying, both the foundation and the concealer. My under eyes looked atrocious with that concealer, so I returned it. Do not recommend, but I know a lot of people love it. So again, take it with a grain of salt. I also picked up the Colourpop Pretty Fresh foundation. I picked this up immediately when it launched last summer. I got the shade Fair 30N. This is one of my favorite foundations ever. It is beautiful on the skin. It's more of a medium coverage, high medium, like low full, but it covers up anything I need it to cover. And if I need more coverage, I just go in with a little extra concealer. I've used this a bunch of times on my channel, so you guys have seen this in action. It is just stunning. Every time I use it, I feel confident, I feel pretty, I feel like my skin looks good. If you have not tried this yet, I highly recommend. And it's only like, what, $16? So it's a pretty great deal. It's so good. It's so good. So in 2021, I also picked up a couple things from Ulta, but again, I will refer you to my birthday haul down below, so I talk about those in that video. But I did make another purchase because I'm just like buying makeup left and right. I don't know what's going on with me. But Ulta had KKW Beauty on sale a couple weeks back, so I ended up picking up some things. I had originally picked up their Nude 1.5 in 2 gloss, and then also their Nude 1.5 in 2 lipsticks. This picture I'm putting up right here only has 3 lipsticks and a gloss, and it all says like $0. My original package got lost in the mail, so I had to contact Ulta and let them know. So they resent it out, but by the time they resent it out, the Nude 1 in 1.5 gloss was out of stock. So I'm really bummed about that because they were on sale half off. So I think the glosses were only $10, and they have been on my wish list to try for so long. So I am really bummed that they're sold out. So I'm gonna let that package come into the mail, and I'm gonna try the 2 gloss. And if I really like the formula, I'll end up repurchasing them some other time, either from Ulta or KKW Beauty's website. I don't know. But again, I want to see if I like the formula. And then I'm so excited to try the lipsticks. I actually have other KKW lipsticks, but they're in way more like brighter, bold colors. So I'm excited to have more nude options. And that was everything I got from Ulta. So now let's move on to my other purchases. So I only have other purchases from 2020 and then this year in 2021 because I wasn't tracking it before 2020. But the first thing I ended up picking up last summer was the Range Beauty True Intentions Hydrating Foundation. And I also picked up their Range Beauty Smooth Out Translucent Setting Powder. This is in the shade Coconut Milk and this is in the shade Light. I unfortunately don't really love either one of these, which makes me so sad. I tried out this foundation again for the first time today, and I actually went ahead and used it in a like new makeup get ready with me. I try on all the goodies from my birthday haul and a couple other things. That video is not out yet, but it'll be up I think tomorrow. I think I have it planned out. It's going to be up tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. But I tried this again in that video because I hadn't used it in a while and I wanted to figure out my thoughts on it. You can see tomorrow in the video how it applies and all that, but I just really don't think I like this foundation. It's very thick and very matte. I know my face doesn't look matte right now, but it's from other products. Again, check out that video tomorrow. But this is just really thick and drying and cakey, and it was a little hard to blend out because it's so matte. It like dried pretty quickly, and I even put a hydrating primer underneath, so I'm not giving up on this yet. I'm going to keep giving it a few more times, but I don't love that. I did not use this in the video, but this is their powder. As you can see, I've like used barely any of it. It's a very thick powder. It's pretty drying. I need to try this out again because those are my thoughts from last summer when I used this, because this is not a shade that I can use not in the summer. That's why I hadn't used it in like a year, if that makes sense. But I need to give this a go again, but I don't remember loving this either. Then I picked up the Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream from Amazon. I got this on Jessica Braun's recommendation because she loves this. I ended up picking up the shade number 13 Bright Beige. I really like this. I like the Purito Cica BB Cream better than this one, but this is still a beautiful formula, a beautiful shade on me. It blends in nicely, it wears nicely. It doesn't have as much coverage as I was really anticipating or hoping it would, but again, I just go in with concealer where I need to, and this is a great formula. The shade range is awful, but if you can find your shade, I highly recommend. Then Juvia's Place had a sale going on last summer, so I picked up a couple things from there. I got the Nomad palette. This is a really beautiful palette, and these are very like fall-y tones, so I need to definitely use it more towards the fall months coming up later in the year. But this palette is stunning. Juvia's Place's eyeshadows are just beautiful. They perform nicely, they blend in well, their shimmers are stunning, and I love this color story. I also went ahead and picked up the Nubian 3 Coral palette. I really love this palette. I do. I keep saying I like love everything. Well, I guess not. There are some things I have said that I don't love, but I really do love this palette. It is beautiful. It's nice and versatile. You have a lot of different options for you. You can go pink, you can go coral, you can go brown, silver, like neutral. And again, the performance and the quality and the formulation, I was trying to think of that, is just stunning, beautiful. I love it. And then the last thing I got from them was their Tribe Highlighter Volume 3. This highlight is like my most blinding highlight ever. Like, look how gorgeous that is. When I need something that is just going to be so blinding where you can literally see me from space, I always go for this one. It comes with 3 different shades, so if this one is too light for you, there's other options, which is really nice. Then I picked up the K&C Beauty Super Balm. This is in the rose scent. They also have mint, I believe. I really like this. It is a very thick chapstick. So I use this before I do my makeup. Like, I put it on in the beginning of doing my makeup on my lips and then let it like sit there and marinate the whole time I'm doing my makeup. So then by the time I'm done and I'm applying my lips, this has really sunk in. I don't love the scent. I know it's supposed to be rose scented, but it kind of smells like gross. I don't love that, but it doesn't seem to linger too long. And it is a really thick moisturizing chapstick that makes my lips feel very nice. Then last June, I went ahead and picked up a palette that had been on my wish list for a very long time, and I really splurged and got it. And it is the Sydney Grace Enduring Love palette. These palettes are pretty pricey. I think this was like $52 or something like that, which is, it's pricey. However, Sydney Grace's formula is one of the best formulas I've ever used in my life. Probably like my best eyeshadow formula, I think, in my collection. This is just absolutely stunning. I love all of the shades. The mattes blend beautifully. The shimmers are so reflective, so stunning. I have a 1 week 1 palette on this palette. I can link down below for you in case you missed it. I put it up a while ago, like 4 or 5 months ago, but I show you like 5 different looks with this palette. So definitely check that out if you have your eye on this, you're planning on picking it up. But this is an oldie, but a goodie for sure. So I mentioned earlier in the video to keep in mind the Flower Beauty foundation. So I ended up picking up another one of these, but I gave it to a friend. So I picked up the lighter shade. I think the first one I had was light, and then I ended up picking up like porcelain or fair or something like that. And wouldn't you know, it was too light for me. It's like I can't win with Flower Beauty, I feel like. But I remember trying this last summer. Granted, it was too light for me, so that could have thrown me off. But again, it was just a super, super drying formula. It was so dry on me. It looked so bad on my skin. I used it like 1 or 2 times and was like, no, I can't do this. And I was actually going to return it, and then I got it from Walmart, and I was past the time, and I was like, it's not worth it. So I ended up giving it to one of my friends / coworkers earlier in the school year, and she likes it, and she's a little bit fairer than me, so it worked out a lot better for her. And then I picked up 2 brushes. I picked up their blush brush and their concealer brush. Their blush brush is absolutely stunning. I love this so much. It diffuses blush so beautifully on the cheeks. It's nice and fluffy. It's a great dome shape. Highly, highly recommend this brush. And then the concealer brush, I actually have never used. I need to give it a go for sure, but it just looks so big. I feel like it's gonna be like weird under my under eyes, but I love this one so much that I feel like I need to give this one a go. So I will do that eventually. And then I also picked up 2 lipsticks. I got the shade Naked Blush and Peachy Nude. So here we have Naked Blush and here we have Peachy Nude. This is supposed to be their matte formula and this is supposed to be their cream formula, but they both look like pretty similar. I don't reach for these as much as I thought I was going to, unfortunately, but they're both really pretty shades, and I actually like the formulation of them. They're comfortable, so I just need to reach for these a little bit more often. Then I made a Colourpop order, and I remember I was picking up the Going Coconuts palette for one of my best friends, Courtney. It was her birthday in August, and I remember I gave it to her last year, and I remember I saw these Just a Tint lipstick things on there for, I think where they're on sale or something like that, so I decided to pick them up. This is in the shade Feel Good, and this is in the shade Always Right. I don't even know if they make these anymore, honestly, these Just a Tints, but I never ever use these. I never use these. They smell, oh, they smell disgusting. I don't know. They smell like BO, honestly. Like, I think they're supposed to smell like grapefruit. Oh gosh, why do I keep smelling it? I don't know why I keep doing that to myself. These smell awful. They really are just a tint. They hardly ever show up on my lips at all. These shades are pretty, but I literally never reach for these, and I'm probably gonna declutter them soon because the scent, it's disgusting. Then I also made a Cloven Hollow order. I picked up their liquid skin tint. I really actually do not like the skin tint at all. I ended up getting 01, which is just way too light for me. But it looked terrible on my skin. Again, kind of like a bunch of the other like foundation products I've been talking about. This looked so dry on my skin and patchy and made any dryness and flakiness on my forehead, anywhere else, super emphasized, and I did not love this. I also picked up their liquid highlight. This is their Hydro Glow highlight in the shade Galaxy. So if you can tell, it ends up being like super separated, so you have to like really shake it up to like combine it back. This is not my favorite liquid highlight. I only have 3 liquid highlights, and this is definitely not my favorite. It's pretty, but I just never think to reach for it, unfortunately. And then I also picked up 2 of their cream blushes. This is in the shade Georgia, and then we have Blossom. Of the 3 products that I purchased, these are my favorite. I love these cream blushes. They're beautiful on the skin. They blend in nicely. They're pigmented, but not too pigmented. They come in this pretty interesting applicator. It looks like a nail polish, and then you just like paint it on, which is interesting. Let me swatch the other one for you. So they end up being like super separated. It's really weird. They're like super separated when you first like get them out. So this is Blossom and this is Georgia. But then when you like blend them in with your sponge or anything like that, it ends up blending in very beautifully and just making like a really pretty flush on your cheeks. This Blossom shade, I love using it when I just need a very neutral light blush that'll go with anything. And then this Georgia shade is a really beautiful like mauve shade as well. So I highly recommend these. I think they're beautiful. They're beautiful on the cheeks. They blend in well, and then they last for a while as well. So that was everything I picked up in 2020, and now we have a couple things to talk about that I picked up so far in 2021. We're almost done, I promise. These videos always end up being so long. I just buy everything under the sun. So I made an e.l.f. order and ended up picking up the putty bronzers. I have a whole review, first impressions on these. I can link down below for you as well in case you missed it. But I picked up the shades Feelin' Shady, which is like a really nice cool tone contoury shade. And then I also picked up Tan Lines, which is way more of like a warm actual bronzer shade. You can check out that review if you want to know my thoughts, but spoiler alert, I love them. They're beautiful. They're beautiful on the skin. And also in that order, I picked up the e.l.f. This is their primer infused bronzer in the shade Forever Sunkissed. I just wanted this for so long. And it's a beautiful bronzer. It's a bronzer that I have on my face today. I used it in that Get Ready With Me I told you about. And it is beautiful. It blended out nicely. It's pigmented, but not too pigmented. It didn't get patchy. I've heard really good things about these bronzers, and rightfully so. It's literally only $6. And then also in that order, I picked up the e.l.f. X Gen Akin like duo. I already have the brown one, but I picked up the red one just because I like the brown one so much. I figured, why not pick up the red one as well? So it comes with a liner on one side, and then on the other side, you actually have, you actually have like a lipstick. So here is them swatched for you. I just think that looks like a really pretty, beautiful, bright red, almost, I mean, it is red, but it's almost like got a like hint of orange to it. But I think this will be really, really pretty. And then the only other thing that I've gotten so far is another item that hasn't came into the mail yet, but I ended up picking up the Give Me Glow Pastel Dreams palette. I'll pop up a picture here. This just looks so stunning. My friend Kirsten has made a video on this. She picked up this palette and her video just really made me want to try it out. I can link her video down below for you to check out. But this just looks like such a beautiful palette, and it seems like it's going to be something that's going to be very unique in my collection. I don't have a lot of pastel shades. I've watched a couple other reviews on this palette, and a lot of people made a good point that I hadn't really thought of before I bought it, that a lot of times you see pastel matte shades, but it's really hard to see pastel like shimmer shades. And I like how this is set up where you have like a pastel matte and a pastel shimmer in the same color. I'm really excited to try it out. I've never tried anything from Give Me Glow, but I've heard such good things about their formula. Their shimmers I've heard are just insane and out of this world, and I cannot wait to play with that when it comes in. I don't know when it's gonna come in. I ordered it a couple days ago, and I feel like I'm just so impatient. I'm like, where is it? I'm like checking outside like every 2 seconds, like, what palette there yet? Is there yet? So when I get this in, I'm planning on doing a 1 week 1 palette with it. Let me know down below if that's something you would like to see. I know it's a little bit newer of a palette. I know it's not brand spanking new, but it's newer, and I really just want to play with it. So let me know if that's something you'd want to see. I'm probably going to do it anyways, honestly, but let me know if you would want to see that. And that was it, you guys. That was everything I have purchased from past Junes. I hope you enjoyed this video while you were watching. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. You're awesome and I love you. Please subscribe if you have not yet, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, guys.